Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to my another movie review. And like I said, after I finished reviewing the Pokemon movies, the time as it was getting close to ending it, Gene Wilder passed away, and I said I would review three of his memorable films to me. Well, a couple of them, one in particular is everyone knows about. So the first one I'm reviewing is probably, like I said, everyone probably mostly remember him from. And it's also been a childhood film for me as well. My brother, it's probably for everybody, that grew up around after this film came out. This Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory. Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory, based on the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Ronald Dahl's children's book. Who go and make ones that which come on to be in films like Matilda, James and the Giant Peach, and recently the BFG, aka the Big Friendly Giant. I've always enjoyed Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory. I don't think there hasn't been not one person I would think though. Well, if you don't like the film, that's fine though. But it's your opinion. But I'm sure like people after who grew up like within the 80s and then the 90s like I have, it just I think it's always been a classic, and especially starring Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka, memorable performance, and probably a lot of people would easily say it's always been one of his best roles he's ever played. It's one of his most memorable roles, if not the most. But it's sad that he's now passed away, and just it sucks. But Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory, really wonderful. I would say it's wonderful. I would say because especially it's just not only Gene Wilder is Willy Wonka, but also the characters, the children, and the songs. Mainly the songs. Probably the best parts of the movie are the songs. That probably pretty much like everybody knows about. Start from the very beginning where the children go into the candy shop and the owner goes as the Candy Man. And also the musical score opening as as different types of chocolates, candy are being made as well. And after this, after the Candyman song, Charlie, he works has a little job as a newspaper boy, and he has a poor family, and he buys a little bread for the family with his mother and his grandparents are in the bed, and one of them is Grandpa Joe, really enough played by Jack Albertson, who starred in the Poseidon Adventure and also voiced Amos Slade in the Fox and the Hound. And I like Jack Albertson. He was also another good part of the movie as well. So I think he did a good job playing as Grandpa Joe. And also stars Peter Ostrum as Charlie. And this was the only film role that he has played, and this is the only film he has done. And since then, after the years, and then he's now an animal veterinarian. Because I thought like a while back, one of those where are they nows, just he's like working as like an animal veterinarian, like with horses and other animals and stuff like that. So yeah, I thought you could get a bit of like more like kids films, but if they choose to leave, this is their choice. And for him playing as Charlie Bucket, memorable performance. And so they did all the other the actors, the little actors who played the children as well. So then this is one where he sees the chocolate factory, and a guy tells him like no air goes in nobody ever comes out. And also how Grandpa Joe, just talking about all this other stuff about the factory, and also mentioned about Arthur Slugworth, who the guy who put a spy in his factory to steal the formula to make his products better. And then until one day, Wonka announces that he to the whole entire world that he's put out 5 golden tickets. I know. I'm not sure everybody knows the story, but everybody's ever heard of the story, but I just felt like it's because it's my review, so I should feel like to explain it myself. But yeah, so he puts out 5 golden tickets, and he's hidden in 5 Wonka bars, and then the finder. And whoever finds all 5 of these, each person, 1 person per ticket, is gonna a chance to get to visit the factory and win a lifetime supply of chocolate as well. And Charlie, he wants to find a golden ticket, and there's one point where Grandpa, a night where he's talking to Grandpa Joe, and he had a Wonka bar, and he wants him to open it. Opens it, no ticket. Then the days go by, and they find all four of the golden tickets been found. The first ones in Germany were is opened by what was the kid's name, Augustus, who likes to eat a lot. And then the second one's found by Baruch Assault, who is who this rich family who owns in London, owns this peanut company's father. And of course Baruch Assault, she's a spoiled brat. She always gets everything she wants. So, and also the next one, Violet, who's always obsessed with chewing gum, and then Mike TV, who's obsessed with watching TV. So all 4 of them has been found. And of course also shows various clips, people buying Wonka bars, trying to get the golden tickets as well. And then there's one point where Charlie's talking to his mom, and then she sings that song, "Cheer Up, Charlie." And then the next day one day in class, after class, he looks down in the gutter. He sees some money, and he goes to the candy shop where the guy sings the Candyman. He buys a chocolate bar, and it's funny where he starts eating fast, and then it's when the guy says, "Hey, take it easy. You'll get a stomach if you swallow it like that." And he says, he wants to buy one for his Grandpa Joe, and so he buys a regular Wonka bar. And also during that time, where of course there was supposed to be a 5th golden ticket's been found, though, but the paper says that the man who made a forgery made a fake golden ticket. So Charlie knows that the 5th ticket is still out there, so he thinks he has it, but he slowly starts opening it, and he sees it, and you have the music playing as he finds the golden ticket. And then the woman grabs it and shows everyone, "Oh, look, he found the last golden ticket," and everyone's trying to take it away from him, and the guy who owns the newspaper stand, helps him out and says, "Here, let him go, let him go. Run, Charlie, run straight home, and don't stop till you get there." And they have the song playing, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. And as he's running, he meets Slugworth. Says, pay him high price, just... He says, which he says he offers to pay, because he's a spy for trying to get the hands of the secret stuff for Willy Wonka, so he offers him lots of money to get his hands on his latest creation, which is called the everlasting gobstopper. So, and as he walks away, he runs all the way back home and says, "Hey, the fifth golden ticket is mine." And he explains that and Grandpa Joe reads it, says that it is the real golden ticket. And then Grandpa Joe wants to. Well, Charlie asks he can bring a one parent with him, and he wants Grandpa Joe to go with him. I thought it was always thought it was kind of a funny moment where he tries to get him out of bed. Like the first time he stands, he's like, and then he just goes and falls back on the bed. I always thought that was kind of growing up. I thought that made me laugh. Just this first when he first stands up and he just goes, and then he goes and falls back. That part always made me smile, as I am right now, because that part always made me laugh. So, and when he tries to pick him again, he always almost falls on top of Charlie. And I like Jack Albertson. I thought he did wonderful as Grandpa Joe. So, and then he starts singing. What was it? What was that song called? Yeah, I got the golden ticket. Yeah, it's I got a golden ticket. I'm sure all the songs everybody knows about. So then the next day, wherever the day comes, like a crowd's gathering there, and all five of the children are there, and then the doors open. Then I think it's like about oh, I forgot, what was it? Maybe 30, maybe 35 minutes. I forget what the time went by this time when Gene Wilder first appears. Maybe I'm just ballparking. I think it's like about 35 minutes. I'm just guessing though, but it should be like around that time. So the doors open, and then out comes Gene Wilder, the late Gene Wilder, I should say now. And just see him walking out the first time you see him, he's like, oh, the great actor has now passed away, and then Gene Wilder, as he's just slowly walking, then does a somersault up, and it's like, hooray, So he greets everybody, comes all the children to come forward, gives them the golden tickets, and as they walk into the factory, and as they're gonna hang up their coats, like they're like hands, and they actually grab them, and it's like, and then he goes to sign this contract, which starts from huge letters, and it's like works all the way down to teensy tiny where you can't really read it, and they all sign it. And then they get to another part of the hallway where the hallway's getting smaller, and he gets his keys to unlock the tiny door. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I give you the chocolate room. And the settings inside the factory is very well done sets. Just the first room, the chocolate room, how the scenery is just very back in the day. Just well done, wonderful sets. Just how the creation just makes it seem like it's a chocolate factory. Well done sets. And Gene Wilder singing, just if you wanna view paradise, simply look around. Yeah. I'm just watching this film. It's like, it kind of makes me sad because he's now passed away. It's just he was even though it's like how the book was about Charlie and the Chocolate. It's called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and it's called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Makes more a star about Willy Wonka than Charlie, and like how it's supposed to be like in the remake, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's the other way around, really enough. Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka is nowhere near as gives a memorable performance than Gene Wilder has. Nowhere. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the 2005 remake. It's alright though, but Tim Burton, how he makes the settings and the effects and the settings of the factory. It's it's I would say it's decent effects. I mean, and then the score by Danny Elfman ain't bad because I like Danny Elfman from his. I enjoy most of his scores, but just Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka. That's like to me that's sort of like the downfall of me for losing interest in Johnny Depp of all playing off all these wacky characters. Even when he plays Willy Wonka, it's not like this Willy Wonka to me. And the songs were in the film were just not that great as the songs in this film. Because these are much more memorable songs than compared to the 2005 one. But yeah, will I review that film? Review the remake maybe sometime, but not anytime soon. But for now, I'm just reviewing this because for the memory of Gene Wilder. So and everyone's they look around all the field. Everyone's tasting some different kinds of candy and stuff, and the song's playing. Da, 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 da. Memorable score. So, and then they see the Oompa Loompas. And Gene Wilder explains who the Oompa Loompas are from Oompa Land, and he transported the entire population in secret to his factory because they live in this. How he explains like how all the the little Oompa Loompas would get gobbled up right and left. All the snotswangers and the rotten vermicious knits. Wacky words. And they see Augustus just trying, drink the chocolate. And it's like, Augustus, please, my chocolate should not be touched by human hands. Wait, don't do that. No, you're contaminating my chocolate. And he falls in. My chocolate, my beautiful chocolate. And Augustus' mother's like, don't stand there, do something. And then Gene Wilder's like, help, police, murder. And then he gets sucked into the thing where the chocolate goes up. And he gets stuck there, and then Charlie's like, "How will he get out?" And then Grandpa Joe's like, "Yes, Charlie, watch. Remember how I told you how a bullet comes out of a gun?" So then the Oompa Loompa starts singing, "Oompa Loompa doopity doo." Of course, another memorable, catchy tune from the Oompa Loompas. So. And then, moving on, they get onto the riverboat, and they go through the tunnels, and of course, the scene where, of course, like probably the darkest part of the movie is where they seeing all these horrid images. Like one point, you see a chicken get its head cut off, or these disgusting bugs or whatever, and everyone's getting frightened, and then Gene Wilder's like comments like, "Oh, the river's what was it? It's raining, it is snowing," and then he starts getting all this like a creepy vibe where he's like starts raising his voice like, "Yes, the dangerous seas are growing, it seems on slowing." I'm just watching this. I'm saying I miss Gene Wilder already. Just see his. Remember, give him make his like one of the most best performances he has, and his just sucks though. But I'm just gonna repeat myself on that part. But I just miss Gene Wilder. He was just such a wonderful actor. Just one of the funniest one of the funniest actors ever. And now he's just gone just like that. But anyway, going on, they get to the more into the factory, where he comes up with all these ideas to make of candy. Like, for instance, he puts in some shoes and is like, gives it a little kick. Or throws in a clock and says, "Time is a precious thing, never wasted." And then Brooke is telling Charles, like, he's absolutely bonkers. And it's not bad. And Willy Wonka's pedaling on this thing, and then Mike TV's like, he has like this kind of like exploding candy, he goes flies back, And or another part where he sticks his hand in this one pot and it's too cold, so he goes and throws in a coat. And then he goes into activates a machine where he creates his newest creation called Everlasting Gobstopper, and which is the point where Charlie and all the four children, as they each got their golden tickets, Slugworth appears at each and every one of them, telling about all this, and that's them, and which they promise which Wonka says promise never tell anyone about this because he wants to give one each, and of course the fingers crossed, but Charlie wouldn't do that though. So, and then it goes to another machine, just goes and does all these thingamajigs, gizmos, and creates this one piece of gum, which Violet goes and chews, and it's like a whole meal in one, and the dessert is the blueberry pie. And of course, the memorable scene where her face is turning blue and she starts bloating up into a blueberry. So, and Wonka saying, I still haven't got it quite right yet. And the Oompa Loompas come out and start singing. They just go and roll her away. And what was it? But the Wonka said, "Where is fancy bread? In the heart or in the head?" So as they're moving on, they stop by this wallpaper. It's like you can lick it. It's actually taste of fruit. And then go to this other room, the bubble room, where all the bubbles go all the way up to the ceiling. And of course, as they walk away, the scene where Grandpa Joe and Charlie take a sip of the fizz and they start floating up. Oh, and they think it's fun, but as they're getting higher and higher, they're gonna head towards the ceiling fan. So, but as they they have to burp in order to go back down, and then they meet up in the next room where all these golden chocolate eggs are being made by these giant geese laying them. Like, if it's a good egg, it's good on the scale. If it's a bad egg, down the chute. And of course, Veruca, being the total brat as she is, she wants a golden goose, and she wants it now, and she starts singing about it. I want it now. And as she steps on the scale, she goes all the way down the chute, and her father's like, "Where does it go? Where all the bad eggs go? Down the garbage chute." To the garbage chute, yeah. Where does it go to? Into the incinerator. Oh, the furnace. The furnace. Incinerate. The word incinerator, I'm getting that from the remake. Incinerator instead of furnace. And then, then her father goes, "Veruca, sweetheart, Daddy's coming!" Just goes and dives in there after her. Then you get the other song from the Oompa Loompas, and then the rest of them, they get onto this vehicle, and makes all this foam comes out. They're all getting covered in it, and as you go through this, this way, as they slowly going through this one part here, and as they come out, they're all cleaned, and it's a name backwards for washer wash, spelled backwards. Wonka wash, meant to say that. And they get put on these white outfits, and it's the TV room. The TV, just as they take one giant Wonka bar, shrink it down to 1,000,000 pieces, and there goes wants to transport to television. But then Mike TV, he wants to see what happens if a person could do it, and he says, "Oh, look at me! I'm the first one to be sent by television. Lights, camera, action." And he gets transported 1,000,000 pieces, and he's much smaller. And his mother's like, "No one's gonna ever know about this." Puts in his purse, in her purse, and then they both get taken away by the Oompa Loompas, and then the Oompa Loompas sing one last time, and after that, asking Charlie asks Willy Wonka, says, "What's gonna happen to the rest of the kids?" And he says, "I'm sure they'll be just fine." But of course, you never know what happens because you never see them again. And they tells him that um, he just goes to the back doors are out there, but they know something was off, something weird about him. And then Grandpa Joe says, "We're about to find out." And he goes into his office, and like everything in his office, like half of it is gone, like a half clock, a half safe, or a half desk or sink or whatever. And he tells him that you violated the contract, and he's angry with that because they stole fizzy lifting drinks. That's what the stuff that they drank, and because of that, because it takes a lot of time to clean up. I know there was that line. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You went to the ceiling, or and everything has to be sanitized. I forgot that whole line with how he says that in an anger expression. I forgot how that whole sentence go, but he says, it ends with it. Good day to you. And then Grandma Joe says, "You're a crook." So, and as they were about to leave, Charlie goes back and leaves the gobstopper on his desk. So because after everything like that, he just leaves it on his desk, and then Wonka tells that that he, what was it? It was a line that a line that he said. He after Charlie leaves, Wonka said something which I forget though. God. But then after that, he smiles at him and says, "Tell him, Charlie, you won." And then the Slugworth, well, which it wasn't Slugworth. He said that he works for him, and he says that that was all just a test. All that with the Gobstopper was just a test. So, and then he was the only one who passed, and then they go to the Wonkavator, and which was an elevator that could go all sorts of directions, but except for one button, and it's the red button. So Charlie pushes it, and they all go straight up through the roof, and then they all start flying off, and then look at the great landscape of the town, and Wonka tells them that the prize is not just the lifetime of chocolate, is that he's given him his whole entire factory, and he wanted a complete a kind-hearted and honest child. That's what he's been seeking for, to be his new, what was the term? If you inherit hair, that's what it was. Because if I say the word inherit, it's hair. So yeah, he tells him that he tells him all this, and you know what happened to the person who got everything ever wanted? He lived happily ever after, and the sweet ending where he hugs Charlie, and then all his family can move in the factory immediately. They hug, and then it ends with them just flying off to whatever. So yeah, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's a very memorable film from 1971, and which at the time was released by Paramount, but by the late 70s, the rights went to Warner Brothers. That's why you have the Warner Bros. Logo right there, because Paramount exchanged the rights to Warner Brothers. So, but I've always enjoyed the Stones. Another me and my brother always both growing up with. Especially we also watched it on the old VHS. Memorable movie, another memorable kids film, a family film as well. Um, yeah, and also this one says 40 years. This is like the 40th anniversary edition. The first features has a documentary, the story of Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory, a commentary with the Wonka kids, the four sing-alongs, a still gallery, vintage, the 1971 featurette in the trailer. So, and on the back here is Roger Ebert's video campaign, a genuine work of imagination, given it 4 stars. I would give it 4 stars as well. Because yeah, I would say imagination. I would give that because at the time, he's just seeing how this film is and how the inside of the factory is like a whole new world inside the factory, from the first room to the second room. It's like how what was it? How for someone who creates like a whole world for candy and stuff like that, it should be like an imaginary thing, just the setting of the factory, the whole the setting for the town, the characters are all memorable, especially the songs and Gene Wilder's performance as Willy Wonka, the Jack Albertson as Grandpa Joe, and Peter Ostrum who plays Charlie. Everyone gave a memorable performance in this movie, and it's not that long of a movie. It's like about 90. Well, on the back here it says 100 minutes, but without the end credits, at least it's under that. So, and it's very well paced, and yeah, it's not that long until before they enter the factory. It's like about maybe 25 to 30 minutes. Like I said before, Gene Wilder first appears, and just everyone will always remember Gene Wilder for Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory. And it's just he's now passed away. Probably a lot of people will think this is probably his best performance. Always enjoyed Gene Wilder. Loved him in this film growing up. It is probably what everybody thinks. Probably what everybody says is probably his most memorable performance. The film is a classic. I'm sure. No, I know. Me telling it, I'm sure that every single person knows about the story and the songs, the Oompa Loompas, everything about this film. Probably everyone knows about. But just like I said, I always like to give my take on a classic movie like this that probably people know about it. Yeah, to Willy Wonka, Gene Wilder's performance, Jack Albertson's performance, Peter Ostrom's as Charlie's performance, the kids, the other 4 kids, great job. The settings, the score, the songs. I would say that this is a classic. I would say that I'll have no problems with. But maybe also the thing is though at the film was not that big of a hit really enough. It actually made very little money when it first came out. There was a re-release, but still didn't make that big amount of money. But even though despite making very little money though, it still went on to become a cult. Not cult, but a pure classic, I would say. And the remake, Tim Burton. The problem was not with his directing or the settings, because just the visuals has always been good with when it comes to Tim Burton, and the score with Danny Elfman. But Johnny Depp is nowhere near gives a performance as Willy Wonka as Willy Wonka than Gene Wilder has. We see those two films compared. It's obvious that Gene Wilder is a better performer than Johnny Depp was as Willy Wonka. It just while looking back on the film, this is now that Gene Wilder's passed away. I'm just keeping repeating myself, but I've said that I've always loved Gene Wilder. He's now passed away. This sucks. But and also even Gene Wilder was nominated for a Golden Globe for his performance, but he didn't win though. And the film, and also received was also an Oscar nominated for the original song as well. I think it was for Candyman. I forget which song it was, but it's, and I also think that the author of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory rolled the, not Ronald, I didn't mean to say Ronald, Roald Dahl's the author of the book. I don't think he didn't like this film. Just looking at it, says that he was disappointed, and I know he created the book, and if he doesn't like the film, that was fine. But I'm sorry, as I said, I highly enjoyed the movie. I highly enjoyed the movie, and growing up with it, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. But so that's pretty much it. The first one reviewing of for the memory of Gene Wilder. Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory has always been a classic, especially for kids like me that grew up with the film from the 80s and the 90s, such as myself. It's always been a big childhood film, and I could watch this just for Gene Wilder's memorable performance. So yeah, that's my review. That's my review for Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory. I didn't give much to it because I didn't go drag it out as long as I did, because everyone knows about this film, the story, the songs, everything about it. So, but it is a classic without a doubt. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned on the next movie review of the memory of Gene Wilder. And decide which one is going to be Hear No Evil or See No Evil or Young Frankenstein. But you'll know by the next review though. So thanks for watching and stay tuned.